Alright, to start off, I'm going to put out a disclaimer, but if you want to get to the demo review, go to this timestamp. The TikTok account that was posting spoilers has been banned and taken down most likely by Capcom. They've also been taking down more videos on YouTube, but they haven't done all of the work since people have told me that they're still around, especially on YouTube. Also, to cover about that blackmail thing, I was wrong about that. It's essentially that dude was creating a bootleg OnlyFans account for RE4 Remake content, and now it's gone, thankfully, for my sake at least. But anyways, I don't want to get into it too much involving this topic. You guys are here for the demo review, so let's get into it. So yesterday or 2 days ago, the RE4 Remake Chainsaw Demo was released as I'm recording this video, and I will easily say it was a blast playing it. I got extremely addicted, and other than my Xbox sounding like a microwave, I really enjoyed almost every aspect about it. And today as I'm recording this video, I went back to the original game to really compare how they were, and I know some people won't like it, but that's just what's going to happen with this game, is the comparisons. And it's going to be a lot easier than the previous remakes, especially that their OG games had the fixed camera. There were some things I liked more in the remake, but there were also things I liked more in the original. So before we get into the video, feel free to hit the like button and be sure to hit the subscribe button, as I'm trying to hit 5,000 subscribers before the release of the RE4 remake. We're really close now though, so I would really appreciate if you guys hit that sub button. And now let's get into it. So I'm going to start off with the opening cutscene and intro. In the remake, this feels like it is focusing a lot more on Leon compared to how it was with Umbrella's downfall in the original game, including the stock market prices and everything else. One thing I do love about the remake one is that it finally touches on Leon being blackmailed into the US government after RE2, which was expanded on more in the Dark Side Chronicles, so bringing that aspect into a mainline game felt extremely good, because it really feels like a lot of people forget about that when it comes to Leon and his character. Also, Jack Krauser was the one that trained Leon, so that two sides of the same coin type of feeling wasn't necessarily a thing when they first met in this timeline, I guess. It's probably going to be like that in the remake when we get to the island, and in the remake timeline, Leon still thinks Ada is dead most likely, and it also confirms that Leon A was the canon scenario in RE2 Remake. The trauma is still there for Leon, and I think we will see that a lot more in the remake compared to the original. We had brief mentions, but Leon might enter his emo bag a lot more once he sees Ada and reflects on Raccoon City with either Luis or Ashley or even Ada herself. So I want to talk about the movement of Leon. In some parts he felt very fast, a little too fast sometimes, and he also felt a little too slow. Now, of course, motion capture and gaming technology has evolved since 2005, which Leon was very stiff and had, only a few running motions aside from being hurt. I thought it was a nice touch, but it felt very confusing to me. And I also think running depends on the environment or the number of enemies in your vicinity. Not really a complaint with the remake, but an interesting touch that I'm still going to get used to. The first Gennados scene in this remake felt a lot better in terms of the combat, since Leon roundhouse kicks the living fuck out of him, which eventually he turns into the Parasite Man where the Plaga is in almost full control, which is a nice horror touch but doesn't last long. Also, I know I'm picky about this part, but if I'm Leon, I'm not showing up to this village with only 10 bullets in my gun. I'm at least carrying a few magazines with me, which is what the original did to really be sure no crazy shit is happening in the village, but also having 10 bullets does add a horror and a tense effect to the Hunter's Lodge section, but again, it doesn't last long. I did like that the first house was expanded to having a lower level as well, which added to that horror effect. After that, I didn't really think much of the trail. The explosive wires are nowhere to be found, which is totally fine. I didn't think those things added to the game unless you were completely trapped. The dead dog was there, which I really hope that's not the one that is around in the original story, but my gut is telling me that that is the actual dog that, helps us in that, thick boy boss fight. The knife parry could easily be one of the most overpowered things about the remake once it's fully upgraded, because it may take away from the damage tension you may get, and it does feel really fun to use, and the more you practice, the more you just want to do it. Leon's motion of the knife in the original does look like a parry trying to deflect what's close to you, so adding that touch is great, but then again, it could be very overpowering, especially when that knife will eventually be maxed out. So let's get into the main thing that everyone played the demo for, the village attack. Some stealth can be used before they find out about you, but what's funny is that instead of crawling, I could just run up and perform the stealth attack without any worry, which is funny, but could defeat the whole purpose of creeping up behind someone unless it's the Gennados. The remake version felt like your spatial awareness needed to be on its highest with this remake, just like the original, and this barn area didn't have any access in the original, but in the remake you can, but only later on when you backtrack to the section, and Ashley can help you out right here, which I do like they are expanded upon that teammate aspect of the duo. The tower was interesting because as soon as you grabbed the money, the tower fell, which was cool to experience with the Gennados waiting for you, but at the same time I feel like the original was better in this aspect, and let me explain why. The Molotov cocktail throws added to the fact that you could take damage and it felt like a safe space, but only for so long because of that. And once you go down, you almost have no choice but to do so. The Gennados are still waiting for you. Seeing it suddenly collapse looked cool, but I felt bummed out a bit since I was waiting for those Molotovs to be thrown. Also, incendiary grenades don't seem to be in the remake as of right now. They may have been scrapped for Molotov cocktails that we could throw instead, but again, they could be in the game later on. I'm just going off of what the demo has shown us already. Like I said before, the environment felt a lot tighter and less open compared to the original. Bear traps are in this section as well, but man, am I glad that the Gennados can get themselves trapped, because that was so annoying in the original that they could just walk through with the breeze, so thank you so much for that, Capcom. The Gennados are way more aggressive and are smarter since they can trap you as well, especially with the chainsaw villager arriving. When they enter that lunge phase where they can choke you out, you pretty much can't stop them with your pistol, as I tried to do that, but using your shotgun can stop the charge. The combat seems way more expanded on, which is what I expected, and you can do the suplex whenever you want to know whether if it's a Z-Lot or a normal Gennado. You just have to be behind them to perform the German suplex, and I really like that it's a staple throughout the entirety of the story and remake. Also, the deaths are gnarly as hell, and honestly my favorite is when the Gennado snaps Leon's neck personally, and I hope they expand more on the death possibilities the more we progress through the actual game. Now, I want to get into Dr. Salvador, and with my first impressions, I absolutely loved how he was in the attack. Even if you don't go into the house that originally triggers him, he still gets a cutscene that triggers his appearance. I love that this remake makes him a permanent staple to the village attack, so no matter what, you have to be prepared for him, on top of the aggressive Gennados wanting to gouge your eyes out. I love how he stands out compared to normal Gennados from his size and the chainsaw he uses. His health is a lot stronger, it feels like, in this game comparing to the original, and it was also easier to shoot him away from you since he was a normal Gennado with a potato sack on his head. But there is one massive problem that I don't like about him in the remake compared to the OG game. He takes way too long to charge up his attack, and I mean way too long. I can stand there and just say what's up to him before he even starts swinging, and the swing itself isn't that menacing, to be honest with you. The OG Salvador charged it up way faster, and that was what was so scary about him. He could attack you so fast, whether from behind or up front, of course. I'm glad this is just a demo, but all I'm saying is if this is how he is in the launch game, then we can easily consider a nice debate regarding which Chainsaw Villager is better. Now, there is a secret to unlock the TMP for the demo, and no, this is not a hack. What you need to do is discard every item you have in your inventory before you get to the village part where the Gennado attack is. There are two ladder hatches that connect to each other, which is by the insignia door or one near the cow. Go down the hatch and look for a blue chest which contains the TMP. If you beat the demo with the TMP, it is automatically in your inventory the next time you start up another run permanently. I didn't know about this for a while, but once I did, I was loving the demo a lot more. It makes your job a lot easier, don't get me wrong, but you feel more unstoppable. Plus, the TMP in the demo is actually upgraded to level 3 on a few stats, so that's why it feels really, really good to use. Now, we need to talk about the bonus mode known as Mad Chainsaw Mode, or whatever it's called. It's basically some sort of impossible mode, but unfortunately it's only available for the demo and not the launch game. Maybe some modders will release this mode in the near future, and I would love to see it. The Gennados are way stronger and more ferocious, plus in the beginning where you fight the Plaga Gennado, there are either 2 or 3 of them, so it's best to dodge and weave your way past them and not to waste your ammo. But the focus of this mode is the new look of Salvador. And he has a white bag on his face now with either black marks or holes, but what worries you is his chainsaw. It looks like it's almost on fire though, but it's definitely extremely hot, and the way he moves is a lot more crazier. But he looks smaller compared to his normal build in this demo, but he's faster. It gives me vibes of Super Salvador, and it was extremely hard to kill him. I did not beat this mode, but I hope to soon. Edit, I actually did. A bit of advice, your knife and the TMP, if you get it, will be the most valuable assets to have. Also, one thing I forgot to mention that I did not like in this demo was the fact that we couldn't hear the save theme with this typewriter. I was so hyped to hear it once I saw the typewriter, then I realized I couldn't access it, so I was kind of let down with that. So, everything out of the way, this demo will be the perfect hype for this game to officially come out, even though the spoilers are already out and apparently GameStop is responsible for that and add on with the collector's edition stuff. Yeah, it isn't really looking good for them. I'm rating this demo an 8.5 to a 9 out of 10. This is everything you want in a demo with hidden secrets and amazing gameplay. I think the gunplay is a little too slow, but maybe that's just the guns not being upgraded. Some details in the original game were better, while there were some in the remake as well. I'm going to be playing this more and might live stream more possibly. I can't wait for this game, and I know this is going to be something special, and it will also showcase how much the original RE4 was ahead of its time, especially that game was made in 2005, which is honestly crazy to now that I think of it. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like and let me know your thoughts about the demo in the comment section down below. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new. I'm trying to hit 5K before the release of the remake. I hope everyone has themselves a good day, good night, and a good sleep, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Peace out, and much love.